Back home now and back to one of our top stories. The DA leading a march to the Limpopo Provincial Treasury in Polokwane today. Our reporter Thulasizwe was there and he joins us now live. Thulas, so a memorandum has been handed over to a Treasury official. Do we know what's in it?
Well, Michelle, the memorandum starts off by mapping the extent of the damage that the DA says has been caused by corruption and state capture to the province of Polokwane. Who can forget, Michelle, that at some point 5 provincial departments were under Section 100 administration, which is a situation that came about as a result of a decision of National Treasury upon looking on the finances of these 5 departments. And in fact, as we speak, even the Department of Education, which gets a good chunk of the Limpopo province's budget, is under that kind of administration. So the DA starts there in its memorandum and maps that damage, the extent of the damage, and then ends off, it's a lengthy memorandum, but it ends off with a demand that Treasury here in Limpopo should continue to hold fast against attempts at state capture, and then also calls on members of the provincial legislature here in Limpopo to lobby the members of parliament to vote in favor of a motion of no confidence when it does come before parliament in President Jacob Zuma.
I'm the part of this march because I see the ideology ya DA. Noguti futhi mina I'm a graduate, but ngihola a salary that is even less than air cleaner. Mina I'm a graduate, so angiyanga mina go Robben Island or go guy, but angiye go university ngastudisha. So I need fair and fair whenever there is ukunikezwa komsebenzi wabantu.
I guess today we're marching for South Africa. I think, as you can see, we're dressed as DA, ANC, slight red for the EFF, because we're here as South Africans today. We're here to unite against one man, for one man to fall, because we believe in South Africa as our country, where we should all unite together.
Yeah, and we believe if we all unite, we can truly make a change. We need to unite across all political parties, races, classes, everything. We need to unite.
Thulas, DA leader Mmusi Maimane, very clear there in the warning he's wanting to issue during this march, telling the ANC 2019 is coming. Surely this is a very real worry for the ruling party.
Well, Michelle, Mmusi Maimane speaking there and echoing the voices of some of those DA supporters that you just heard now, who were part of that march, who certainly were quite excited at the point at which he was saying that 2019 is coming. Mmusi Maimane appears to be approaching this as a battle, a battle in a bigger war, which is really, whose culmination will be at the polls, where there'll be a showdown between opposition parties and the ANC. And so his strategy is to lead these marches. Mmusi Maimane affirming that the DA will continue to march until President Jacob Zuma steps down or is removed by the ANC. Mmusi Maimane saying that that may not happen tomorrow, that may not happen next week, but 2019, in Mmusi Maimane's words, we quote unquote, we will deal with them. So if the ANC chooses to defend President Jacob Zuma, then, Mmusi Maimane is saying that they will have to take collective punishment at the polls in 2019. Of course, the ANC will have its own counter-argument about the ANC machinery and its ability, and the ANC's ability to self-correct, and believing that perhaps there's enough opportunity for it to do that between now and 2019, and that the place of the ANC is cemented in 2019. I guess it's not easy and not possible to answer that question until we sit at the IEC Results Center in 2019 and we get those results coming in.
Thulas, before we let you go, hundreds of people showing up for this march today. A big difference between the numbers we saw in the past 2 weeks, with tens of thousands of people showing up then. Was the DA disappointed?
Yeah, Michelle, I always talk, the DA always talks about the blue machine, the blue wave, that, you know, the blue wave is sweeping through South Africa. Well, we didn't see the blue wave today. I've said earlier on that all we saw was really a ripple. It was really a small gathering. We're talking hundreds, not thousands, that marched from SABC Park to the Treasury here in Polokwane. But in the words of Mmusi Maimane, it is really unfair to compare a provincial march with a national march. He says these are two different situations. So this was merely a provincial march, and it's really about keeping the message alive that the ANC must be dislodged, not only at national level, which is what, you know, perhaps the national marches tend to focus on, but also in the localities, in the various spheres of government, at provincial government and also at local government. So Mmusi Maimane is certainly saying that he's not perturbed by the turnout here. He was in high spirits as he was leading the DA supporters through the streets of Polokwane. So it doesn't appear that he was moved by any of this. But I have a feeling, Michelle, from the conversation I had with the EFF leader in Limpopo, Josie Putane, that ability to bring thousands to the streets of Polokwane may have been a big consideration for the Red Berets. Certainly they were not comfortable with the logistics that had gone into preparing for today, and therefore deciding, despite indications earlier on that perhaps they would have been part of this, deciding that they were not going to be part of it.
All right, some insight and analysis there. Our reporter Thulasizwe live to us from Limpopo province.